The information discussed on Talkin' Money with Jeff Tarbell is believed to be from reliable sources. However, no responsibility is assumed for inaccuracies. No statement made on this broadcast should be construed as a specific recommendation of a particular investment product. Views expressed are those of the speakers and do not necessarily represent those of CBS Radio. Use only as directed.
Smiles, everyone. Smiles. And prepare yourself for...
Show me the money!
Ladies and gentlemen, the radio broadcast experience designed to keep your wallet in top condition. It's Talkin' Money with Jeff Tarbell.
Talkin' money. Talkin' money. More money, more money, more money.
And now entering the studio, your guru for fiscal fitness, Jeff Tarbell.
Good day, money lovers. This is indeed Talking Money with Jeff Tarbell, and back with John Fotoraro, also in the studio usually. Only Jeff and John are gone today. Does my voice sound a little familiar or maybe a little foreign? Well, those guys are taking a retreat, so I am Vince Mastracco, who was on the air here at this very station for almost 19 years doing a golf show called the Golf Talk Radio Show with Vince and Brett Taylor. We preceded Jeff and, of course, became friends over the years. So now and then when Jeff decides to take a little retreat, I am blessed to be invited in. I'm lucky and fortunate that we became friends. We do some business together, Jeff being in the mortgage business, and these days I'm a full-time real estate agent with Lion Real Estate. So yes, indeed, I'm Vince Mastracco, and we're going to start off today's show. Well, actually, let me give you a lineup for today's show. Coming up, our first guest of the morning, with the business of the Super Bowl is just 8 days away, so we want to do this in a fun and upbeat way. We got comedian Mark Yaffe coming on in just a few minutes, and you can, if you're looking online or anything, you can check out Mark's stuff. It's laughwithmark.com, and you can check him out right away. We're going to do the funniest Super Bowl commercials of all time, and maybe even, I don't know, anything that Mark would like to see even funnier coming up. So we've got Mark Yaffe coming up. Then at the bottom of the hour, because this is golf season, and I got to get here with a little bit of golf in my brain, and it's still a business too. Got to sell tickets. We're going to talk with tournament director Steve John for the upcoming AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am Celebrity, which is just 2 weeks out at this point in time. So, and maybe we'll even do maybe a little real estate quiz for some greens fees or things that I still have from my days in golf. But let's start right now. First off, it is Jeff's show. I'm going to start with Jeff's weekend rate sheet. Pretty much every mortgage loan originator will send out to agents each and every week on the weekend. They'll send out a rate update. So I was debating whether to start this with mortgage rates or with the stock market tumble that occurred at the end of the week. But anyway, we're going to go with mortgage rates first because they look pretty darn good. 30-year fixed right now, Jeff's sheet is quoting 4.625%. I find this interesting. 20-year fixed, which is becoming more popular, 4.25%. And if you want to go with a 15-year fixed, you can still get under 4%. You can be at 3.750%, or with a full APR, and that is just including any upfront fees, 3.880. So there you are. That's what's on the books right now. And, of course, you can go to jefftarbell.com anytime, and Jeff will respond. Even when he's on these retreats, he's pretty quick on the phone to get back to you. You can text him, call him, do any of that. I mentioned the stock market only because it was on my mind. I had a personal sort of purely kismet encounter. I was meeting end of the year stuff, beginning of the year, getting ready for taxes with the portfolio manager that handles my wife's and my stuff. And he walked into a 4:00 meeting yesterday and said, "Hey, you got such and such in a money market here. why don't we buy something? Because the way the market's gone, you get to buy on the dip. So you'll have good timing for a change. And I went, whoa, I like it. So we made pretty snap decisions, but we've gone for it. U.S. stocks tumbled Friday to their biggest loss in more than 7 months. So last year's gains, the Santa Claus rally that typically occurs at the end of the year, there's a global sell-off. Investors fear that signals turmoil to come as financial markets adjust to a pullback in central bank stimulus. And of course, that relates to the Fed buying bonds, which relates directly to mortgage rates, etc. So the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 318.24 points, or 2%. So interesting stuff. There was another quote. I'm looking at the Wall Street Journal, and it says, forces are receding, with the Fed expected to reduce monthly bond purchases again on Wednesday. So be watching for this upcoming week. All right. I got to cover a little bit before we get over to Mark, and we should have Mark on the line here pretty quick. Just the headlines, and any of you sports fans that listen to this radio station, you now know that the arena vote petitions, I love the headline in the B, arena vote petitions fall out. So the interesting thing I found from that was some of the petitions have been rejected due to legal flaws in the wording of the petition. So they've been disqualified, I believe. No matter which side lost, I'm sure there's going to be court against it. So the city clerk, Shirley Concolino, no matter which way she ruled on it, she was going to get hauled into court. But the interesting thing I found was a couple of quotes. This one from the Stop group that would love to stop the arena says, "This is a very dark day for democracy in Sacramento." They issued a statement. "The city clerk is trying to use a small number of minor and insignificant printing errors." So apparently they don't want to have to do things properly. But anyway, to disenfranchise Sacramento voters. Then when you move deeper into the story, there is another quote that says, about a vote and democracy. It has always been about tricking voters and stalling the arena. And then it goes further. Kevin Johnson issued a statement saying, "I have serious concerns about the integrity of the process and the underhanded attempt to subvert and trick voters with misrepresentations." Just reminds me of years ago when I had a PR instructor in college who said, in times of crisis or war, the first thing to disappear is often truth. So it's somewhere in between both of those points. Stay tuned. This is getting more and more interesting as we go along. All right. We want to move right now to Mark Yaffe, and he is our prime guest for the morning. The business of the Super Bowl is coming up. Those commercials, I just saw a thing yesterday that said they're going to be about $4 million per 30-second spot coming up. That seems actually low to me. But anyway, funniest Super Bowl commercials of all time, comedian Mark Yaffe. A little bit on Mark. He's been on Showtime. He's been on Comics Unleashed. He's been on many, many radio shows. He does a lot of this stuff. His website is laughwithmark.com, and that's spelled M-A-R-C. Laughwithmark.com. He has a multicultural background. Now, this one had to be interesting. Mexican mother, Jewish father, which really lets him cover a lot of ground, and I believe he has a little mixture of Native American in him. And one of the things that I want to highlight in his bio before we bring him in is he used to be a writer on George Carlin's Laugh.com. So, and of course, George Carlin, I still miss that guy's comedy. With that in mind, Mark, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Vince, and hello, everyone in River City. It's great to be on the air with you, man. I actually started comedy when I started doing comedy back in the 1900s. About 1998, I started at Laughs Unlimited in Old Sac.
Oh, you appeared at Laughs Unlimited. Okay, and I saw there's another.
That was where I was actually a little bit of quick background. I used to work for a state psychiatric facility, the Department of Motor Vehicles. And I got out of there.
I caught that.
Yeah, thank you. I got out of there. I opened a driving school and traffic school up in Lake County, or as I like to call it, Tahoe for tweakers. And I started coming to SAC looking for comedy traffic school instructors. I ended up taking a class that the very funny Del Van Dyke, is based still in Sacramento, and Karen Henderson. She now, I think, writes for, she wrote for Ellen, and she's down in L.A. doing a bunch of writing for some big heavyweight talk shows. They were teaching a comedy class and went down there in Old Sac. I used to drive back and forth 2 hours each way from Kelseyville, from Clear Lake area to Sacramento, do my little class and my stick, and back up in the mountains, and end up things just kind of mushrooms. Now I'm here year 15 of the 50-year plan, and in Williston, North Dakota, looking out at minus 10-degree snowstorm.
So the only reason you go to Williston, North Dakota is because you've got a booking then. That's the deal, right?
Yeah, well, actually, I'm in Minot. I don't mean to brag.
Okay.
I was in Williston 2 nights ago. Now I'm doing a couple shows in Minot, yes. My agent doesn't subscribe to the Weather Channel, evidently. So.
Yeah. and you just go where you're booked.
That's pretty. Well, sadly, I do most of my own bookings. It just happen to work out. We end up here, but you get to see a lot of the country doing this job. That's for sure. And it makes me miss California, because this is the frozen tundra up here. It's.
Yeah, well, the weather report just here is sunny and warm, and the water report is none available, and that's it. That's it in a nutshell.
And the thing is, up here they've had these 100-year floods, and in Minot, half the downtown got wiped out. They're still rebuilding. Same with all these North Dakota and the upper Midwest. They get these horrendous floods. I'm like, man, it's too bad we just can't pipe some over to the valley and give it to the farmers. And I think that'd be an expensive undertaking, but. That's why I'm a comedian and not an engineer or civil planner.
Well, all right, let's go to comedy. You got to have, right off the top of your head, you got to have, I would think, a couple of Super Bowl commercials that you just love the most.
Well, my favorites are always the Bud Lights.
Mine too.
And I just was Googling the other day. I don't know what it is. They just, man, and the Bud commercials, which same company, Anheuser-Busch, Budweiser. Not so good. Bud Light, genius stuff. And they have my favorite is, they had a couple years ago when Carlos Mencia, the comedian, was in a room full of new immigrants, and he's teaching them how to order Bud Light. I don't know if you can remember that one.
I don't remember that one.
India, and the guys from, like Russia, and at the end, and then he goes, anyone ask you for a Bud Light? No, speak English.
Well, yesterday I was looking at the one.
I don't know if you remember the running of the squirrels.
Running of the squirrels. Go, tell me.
You still there?
Yeah. Vince. Have we got you? Did
I lose you?
Well, you didn't lose me. I think you lost my voice, but we didn't lose you. All right. Well, folks, what can I say? He's up in the Dakotas, so we've just got to get back at him. And that is Mark Yaffe, laughwithmark.com, and Yaffe, Yaffee, if you want to look him up on YouTube. So, and I was trying to actually interject. I was looking at some Super Bowl commercials yesterday. Of course, I love the GoDaddy commercials. Okay, Mark, are you there again? We got you?
Back.
All right, we got you back. All right.
Go. We talked about the Bud Light,
yeah,
of course, and there was the other Bud Light one where they had the guy as the border collie, and he trains and he says, "Boy, fetch!" And then the dog runs and grabs the Bud Light out of the cooler.
I remember that one.
And the other guy's got a mixed dog, a mixed breed dog, and he goes, "Rover, Bud Light!" And the dog jumps up and grabs it right out of the guy's hand.
Yes. That was that one. Then there was another one where they did a fist bump, and I remember this one did a fist bump, and one guy says, "No, fist bumps are so out right now," and he goes,
"Yeah,
what's
slap.
in? Yeah, the slaps."
Yeah, I'm really glad that didn't catch on, but that was brilliant.
It's just good stuff. I mean, the writing that goes into this stuff is amazing. All right, so but
if you think about it, people are preparing for a whole year. This is the Super Bowl of commercials is like the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl of commercials. And how about I don't know if you remember the company by the name of EDS. I don't even know what they do. It's some sort of data services, and I don't want to disparage a commercial because it's a very successful company. They had 2 commercials, and I remember there was they did a takeoff on the running of the bulls. Remember they did the running of the squirrels.
I don't remember the commercial.
Yeah, and the guys are all in the white outfits. And they got the red kerchiefs where they go through Pamplona, Spain. And instead of bulls coming, these guys are running for their lives, and these little squirrels are just racing after them. And then the guy's like, "To beat the squirrel, you must be the squirrel." that was awesome. You guys got to Google that one. And then the same company, EDS, they did the cat herder commercial where they had this.
I remember that one. Yep.
Yeah, and they're on horseback, and then they're wrangling cats, and the cats are crossing the river, and I love this job, and I've been doing this all my life. I wouldn't have it any other way. There's something about animals in commercials. You notice that? You normally never see an animal in a commercial. All of a sudden, Super Bowl commercials, it's monkeys, squirrels, dogs, cats. Toyota Camry had the one with a ferret nursing its baby ferrets in a car, and the guy was not. It was so quiet that it wouldn't disturb the ferrets, and they're shooting off cannons and stuff outside, and everything's going fine. And then all of a sudden, the guy's phone rings. You see the ferret looking up at him. That was loud.
I don't remember that one. The Running with the Squirrels was so well cast because they really had all the cowboys looking just leathery in the whole bit.
Oh yeah,
and doing that one.
Yeah, and the garb was just spot on, and yeah.
Okay, where do any of the GoDaddy commercials fit into comedy? Because they are certainly eye candy commercials.
Yeah, well, anything with Danica Patrick, you got the male viewers just watching. I don't know. I mean, I love GoDaddy. I think they're one of the, as far as a consumer, I've had nothing but a great interaction with them. And the commercials, I don't know. I thought they were okay. They just struck me as a little bit awkward, which maybe that's the idea. Just get us to keep watching to see where's this going. It's like a comedian. We want to see a payoff at the end. We come up with a punchline. There, I just kind of like this kind of fizzles. Oh, that was interesting. Okay, what's next? Yeah.
Interesting, because now I'm going to watch next week when I'm watching the game. I think I'll watch for the payoff line right there. That's a good key because that's comedy. That's what you do. You do the setup and then deliver. So
is Danica Patrick back again this year?
I don't think she is. I think they've got a different model. So, in fact, if anybody knows and wants to call in, you can feed us the number 800-920-1140 because I think I saw something that she's not doing it. So, or maybe there's somebody joining her. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I think, if you're going to do some product placement, and a natural is the halftime show is going to be Bruno Mars. Is Mars Candy on this?
Mars Candy. Oh, man, if they're not, some media buyer at their agency made a mistake in judgment.
Oh, yeah, because that's Mars is M&M, I think, too. Mars bars, perfect.
Yeah, I think Mars is the largest chocolate candy company in America.
Yeah. I think you're right. Well, Wonka's back with the Laffy Taffy. I'm coming out with my little shirt, Laffy Yaffy. I'm going to try to pitch. I'm going to get them to sponsor me, but I don't think I'll be playing halftime anytime soon. I can't sing, and I definitely can't play an instrument.
Well, but a little comedy setup. It'd be like coming on the late night talk shows. There's always a warm up act.
Exactly. There you go. I could come in between timeouts in the 2 minutes before halftime.
There we go. Or I got a great comedy shtick for instead of Mike Pereira, like he comes on and does the rules explanations, we could give a comedy twist to rules.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now we're having some fun. Yeah. How about Jim Harbaugh for Dockers? Because his wife is complaining he wears those $8 khakis. Yeah, and when he was out on the sidelines coaching, and now the Levi's, the stadium's going to be the Levi's Stadium, so it's Levi's Dockers. So he's in the commercial. He just gets those tear off pants. Like, well, that's basketball, so he just drops the $8 khakis, and he's got nice wrinkle free Dockers underneath.
Oh, that would be good because in truth, I don't know that he can. Well, he wear the Dockers, but aren't they supposed to have Nike logos or whoever is the NFL licensee?
Right. Yeah, there's all sorts of licensing conflicts.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does that happen? Yeah, you're in the Levi's Stadium, and you got a Gap commercial, and there's all we're getting bombarded with product placement. But yeah, his wife could just come up and pants him, and then he's got Dockers on underneath.
Hey, we got a notice up here on GoDaddy. Somebody has called in. I've got it on the computer screen. It says the GoDaddy commercial this year, Danica Patrick will be doing. So. Hey,
I think she's on a long-term contract. Good for her, man.
Yeah, good for her all the way.
Good media personality. She's a great competitor, and why not?
All right.
Let's see. What else? We got a couple more commercials I'd like to see. These, I don't know. These are shaky, but I think we can work with them. Oprah for O.com.
Oprah for O.com. What's your theme on that?
I think Oprah, because they call it, the O Network and all that. So she's pitching whatever they're selling. She needs another billion. She's hurting right now. She's down to about $13 billion, I think. Jay Leno, he needs work because he's done with the Tonight Show. So how about Jay Leno for Obamacare, and it's got to get you signed up because they only had 6 people signed up on the first day of Obamacare out of 310 million Americans, and 5 of them were trying to win free Beyonce tickets.
On the website, of course, too. So.
Oh yeah, I changed it from Obamacare to Stop and Stare. I'm in Nevada, and I spent about, probably cumulative. If I added it up, I probably spent 10 hours trying to get in there on their system and figure out. I finally ended up getting some coverage, but it was not easy. I needed a mental health physical after that one.
There's no reward for going online to sign up for your health care these days.
Right. And that'll pretty much raise your blood pressure and ruin your health. But just for the record, I just want your viewers, for those of you looking at the radio, and I'm sure listening, the Obamacare will not cover twerking. So I'm sorry, Miley Cyrus doesn't get covered on that one.
Yeah, injuries from twerking. And actually, hers could be on the job, an OJT thing. So, but
yeah, you're gonna have a Kardashian. There's gonna be a Kardashian on the Super Bowl commercial. They're always pitching something.
I love it. All right, the famous for not doing anything type of thing, almost a reality takeoff on the Seinfeld stuff.
I have an inside scoop. This may be just a rumor, but I understand that Phil Robertson, Duck Dynasty patriarch, they got him back on air after the Glad interview with GQ and his comments about gays. So they've had a secret deal. Phil Robertson's actually made a secret deal with Just for Men. But it's going to be Just for Pretty Men. He's going to paint his beard in a rainbow.
That one's getting political. So.
I know.
Actually, I like it. Those beer. It's like I looked at the show. I never watched it until all this came up, and I looked at it just this past week and said, "Why would I ever want to watch that show?" I just didn't get it. But
it's the highest rated cable show in history.
I know. And maybe the second part was I kicked myself for not coming up with a concept. But
well, you know what? When they were going off the air, I started thinking of some replacement shows. I was like, man, if Duck Dynasty's gone, I think I'm going to come up with one. We'll follow a family that runs a septic business. We call it Muck Dynasty. And we
mucked.
Yeah. Then we go up to Canada. We have some Canadians up in Thunder Bay. They repair hockey and equipment. We call it Puck Dynasty.
Ooh.
And then my favorite though, right here, Vince, is we just turn the camera on Congress. We'll call it Schmuck Dynasty.
I'll watch that one. I'll watch that one every week.
I think that's called C-SPAN.
All right, folks, we have been talking. Our guest that we're talking to, who's firing these one-liners, and you better be listening to catch him, is Mark Yaffe. And I've plugged his website about 3 times, laughwithmark.com. I got to ask you this one. You because it's in your bio. You grew up with a Mexican mother and Jewish father. So all comedy aside, that had to be a courageous relationship for. I could see your mother bringing your father home to introduce him to her family. Those things. There's some visions in there.
In the 1950s, and she was first generation Mexican American, so her parents didn't speak a word of English. My dad, of course, a Jewish kid from Michigan, ended up in California, didn't speak a lick of Spanish, and then they end up somehow. All of them, your grandfather loved your dad. And I was like, well, they didn't even understand the same language. Maybe that's what worked, Your mother-in-law can be talking all the business she wants, bad mouthing, and you're just sitting there smiling.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
They're great, though. They just had their 58th wedding anniversary, so I bought them their 2 favorite hobbies are cleaning and driving slow, so I bought them a street sweeper.
Okay. So which one's driving it?
They take turns. My dad's 86. He had his first accident in Palm Springs. He's okay, though. He hit a patch of ice. This is a true story. He hit a patch of ice in Palm Springs last March. I'm like, Dad, how did you hit a patch of ice in Palm Springs? Did you run over a drunk guy holding a daiquiri?
I got to catch one of your live shows, man. You're being tame for us, but these just roll out of you. These just roll.
Can I make a quick plug? I'm going to be actually in the Sacramento area on in the end of February, the last Friday in February. I believe that's the 28th. I'm looking at my calendar. Boom, boom, boom. Elk Grove Sports Bar. I believe that's in Elk Grove.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's. I'm going to be performing there with the very funny Adam Stone and Mike Powell. So that's going to be an 8 o'clock show on Friday, February 28th. So
8 p.m., 228. We'll just steer people to Elk Grove Sports Bar for tickets?
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay.
Laurel Martin puts on the show there. She does a great job. They do a weekly show there, and one of my California appearances, I actually moved to Reno, which proves one thing: you're never too old to keep making bad decisions.
Yeah, and it's going to be hotter there this summer than it is down here. But I don't know. You might have more water. So
I don't know. You know what? It's amazing because they talk about the California, the government declares drought emergency, and you guys take proactive measures. They don't even mention it in Reno, and it's a desert. There's always a water shortage there, and they act like nothing. So I'm like, hey, maybe people shouldn't water their lawn or not leave the hose on, something. They don't. It's just like they act like the water's coming out of the asphalt, evidently. So
that's true. Maybe that's where we need to take some lessons on that one. So obviously, water storage, water finding it. Yeah. So you are close by. Okay, Elk Grove Sports Bar. I want you to talk a little bit about your CD, Chuckalicious.
Oh yes, I just recorded a new CD. I actually did it down in the Bay Area at Morgan Hill Playhouse. I had about 180 people. Really nice venue. They treated us great, and Upward Comedy Records produced the CD. It just came out in November. Basically, a culmination of 13, 14 years on the road and dozens of notebooks, tens of thousands of miles, which pretty much proves one thing: I'm terrible at time management.
Yeah, but you're not terrible at one-liners. We'll take that.
I try to keep it flying, and folks can actually sample the CD if they go to SoundCloud, just like it sounds, soundcloud.com, and type in my name, Mark, M-A-R-C, Yaffe, Y-A-F-F, fresh, E-E, like echo. So, Mark Yaffe. And they get a free sample, or if they like what they heard today, I'm on iTunes and Amazon, and they can download my CD there or go to my website, Laugh with Mark.
That's all good stuff. In fact, I love the line on the website, tall, dark, and hilarious. So there we are.
I appreciate it. I'm not feeling very dark, and North Dakota with the white out here. I feel like my skin tone is fading by the minute.
Well,
these people haven't seen sun since 1988. I don't think.
That's the life of a comic. You picked it, and there's a lot more venues today. I remember, back in my younger days, we maybe went to the Comedy Store in L.A. when all that started, and that was the scene. And there weren't that many places for you guys to perform. So the good part of Minot is that there's a lot of places to perform and a lot of people that want to see you guys perform these days. But the bad part is
warm up out here.
Yeah,
they're just laughing just to keep the blood flowing so they don't get frostbite.
There is no warm-up in Minot, is there?
No, there's no warm-up act. It's pretty much hand-warmer act, I think, is what you get.
All right. We're bumping into the bottom of the hour, and I appreciate you taking time to do this today. Super Bowl next week is going to be entertaining, and coming out of 49er country, I've got to say at this point in time, I'm pulling for Peyton to get his second and sort of get a little closer to brother Eli on the Super Bowl scale.
I know it was a tough loss for the Niner fans. They did have a great season. I'm unfortunately a Raider fan, which means we lost the last game of the season. We've been officially eliminated from the playoff contention until 2026.
My producer Chris is laughing as I am on that one too. So, and I got to tell you, I still follow the Raiders as well. I'm weird. I love all the teams. So as long as they're not facing up against each other. There
you go. Well, thank you for having me on, man. It was a lot of fun. I hope you have much success in 2014 and enjoy your Super Bowl commercials.
Well, actually, we'll enjoy the Super Bowl commercials and might even try and catch you down at Elk Grove Sports Bar. So, Mark, perform well, and thank you for doing this, and you enjoy the Super Bowl as well.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back right after these messages.
Talkin' money.
Well, alrighty then. We're back to Talkin' Money with Jeff Tarbell.
Welcome back, everybody. This is not Jeff Tarbell. Yes, indeed, this is the Jeff Tarbell Talkin' Money Show, but I am Vince Mastracco, the former voice of the Golf Talk radio show right here on KHTK for almost 19 years, 1994 through 2012. And these days, as I mentioned at the top of the hour, I'm a real estate agent with Line Real Estate, but I also keep my fingers in golf and golf promotion a little bit as well. And Jeff is kind enough to, one, invite me in, and two, tell me to do whatever I want when I'm on the air here. Just bring a good game, my A game with me. So anyway, we are picking the show back up right now, and momentarily we should have Steve John, the tournament director for the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, coming up in just 2 weeks, because that really, I've always said, that is when golf wakes up in Northern California. Chris, do we have Steve with us? All right. So right now we've got tournament director Steve John coming up. The AT&T Pebble Beach is just happening in 2 short weeks. So Steve's month of Mondays, which is how I've always termed January, is probably getting ready to, it's coming to a crescendo right about now. So good morning, Steve. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, good morning, Vince. Thanks for having me on.
Month of Mondays, am I fairly close in that?
We are in we're full go mode. We moved out to property yesterday, brought the team out here, and we're in our double wide trailers for the next 2 weeks, and spent some time last night out on the golf course looking at the new brand new spectator enhancements. We've got bleachers around 18 that are not even bleachers, they're seats now, right on the green of 18. It's spectacular, and the new product, the new vendor we went with is called Proteus, and they're overseas, and just got a beautiful look. It's dark glass, and it's state of the art. It's setting a new standard for the PGA Tour, I think.
And you had mentioned that at the media function a couple of weeks ago, so I'm curious to see that. I'll be definitely taking a look at that. But let's start. Any late announcements in terms of players, and let's run down through some of the players.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. We got last night. We got a commitment from Jordan Spieth, who happens to be leading Torrey Pines right now. So that was very exciting for us. We kind of had a thought that he may play, but it's always nice when they commit. Jeff Ogilvy, former past U.S. Open champion, and Aaron Baddeley last night. Rafael Cabrera-Bella, who's I think finished 3rd or 4th this morning over in Dubai, is playing it again this year. Played last year. So the field's really deep with Graham McDowell. I mean, the ones we spoke about at the media day, but it's a very, very deep field.
Mm-hmm. And actually, I want to run down some of the Northern California names very quickly, because there's an attraction there for out of Stockton, of course, Ricky Barnes, Matt Betancourt. I still count as a Northern Californian because he played out of Modesto before Marriage and Movement.
He's a NorCal boy.
Yes, he is. And James Hahn, one of my favorites, and of course, you can still find James Hahn on YouTube from the Phoenix tournament doing his Gangnam Style imitation. He went viral.
Nick Watney.
Watney, yes, indeed.
Max Homa from Cal.
Okay, I didn't even see him on the list.
That's right. We didn't know about that at the media day. Max is coming from Cal. Gave an exemption last week. He's excited.
Okay.
Good Northern California contingent.
And I see Scotty McCarron on the list as well.
Yeah, he's on there on playing, and he's always a fan favorite. Great guy.
And Spencer Levine, who's really still I think coming off injury, but his I don't know. He's just been. I've known Spencer since he was in high school, so I just love the kid.
Yeah, he's fun to watch, and he's no lack of energy there.
Well, and no lack of energy, and no lack of honesty comes out. So,
yeah, like it is. He and Johnny Miller, very similar.
That's it. You ask Spencer a question, you get the truth, and that's where it is,
though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's good stuff. I think some other personalities, Tommy Two Gloves Gainey, because Gainey's kind of fun to watch. He's got a little different swing, a little more homemade, and with the two gloves, so you get some of these guys.
It works, though, doesn't it?
Yes.
Look at Jim Furyk. I mean, how bizarre is that? What they say, it's like he's trying to kill a snake in a phone booth, and he's won it. He's had some success out there, I think.
Mm-hmm. Just a little bit, and and actually, I see Furyk on the list. My eyes are scanning really fast.
Yeah, Graham McDowell's a great story, though. Playing with his father here this year, and he's so excited. He hasn't been here since he won the Open at Pebble. So I
was just going to say that's his return to
Yeah, I don't know. Did you ever get a hold of him? We were trying to hook you guys up.
Well, no, we didn't get a hold of each other. So actually, the last time that I ever had any sound from him was, of course, back at the Open. But
yeah, well, we'll make sure we get when you hear this next week, we'll make sure you hook up. He's a great guy.
That's good stuff. And then really some other from Southern California, we got Goidos coming up, who always comes up. Pat Perez, who really, if you go back to an sort of infamous excitement, his rookie year when he was up at Pebble Beach and caught on camera with a little bit of little anger management issue going on.
Is that when he blew it in the bush on 18? I think that was it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think that was it.
So,
everybody remembers that, don't they? Oh, boy.
Well, okay, let's talk about still not too late to get some advance sale tickets, I think, online. We better get the website in, tickets, because we got weekday tickets. We got to talk about the shootout on the Tuesday, Wednesday stuff.
attpbgolf.com. Get the tickets. You can still get tickets for the Grey Goose Lounge on Costco.com. That's not quite sold out yet. It's very close. I think it's probably by the weekend we'll be done. We were sold out pre-week last year, if that makes any sense. But so I would say we're probably close to selling that out. That's a great venue up at the Triangle. It's 6, 8, and 14 at Pebble. Go online for that for the normal tickets, and then to see the Chevron 49ers Giants shootout on Tuesday. Now that the Giants are not in the Super Bowl, which is kind of a bummer. We'll have quite a group out here. Last year was packed with people, and we're gonna I'm sure see the same thing again. We don't have the firm commitments out of the Niners yet. I think they're still working on licking their wounds, but we'll get that this week. We know that Dwight Clark and Brent Jones will be there. Harris Barton's the captain of that team, and Kruk is the captain of the Giants, and Matt Cain, who's playing in the tournament, will be here. Vogelsang, quite a golfer. Javier Lopez and JT Snow are committed right now. So that'll be that's Tuesday at 1:30 at Pebble. They play holes the Whiskey Run, holes 1, 2, 3, 17, and 18. They play for $100,000 charity. $50,000 goes to either the Giants or the Niners, whoever wins their community funds, and the other $50 goes out to the charities that have competed through our Birdies for Charity program. So it's all money going out to the good recipients.
So do we know what kind of golfers Vogelsong, Lopez, JT Snow are? Because really the Niners have had stronger teams.
Yeah, JT's pretty good, I understand. I think actually I know he's very solid. I don't know about Javier. I have no idea. Vogelsang is a very low handicap, and Matt Cain is super long. He drove the first green last year at Pebble Beach, which is about probably a 325, 330. Just knocked it right in the right bunker. I couldn't believe it.
And actually, I think there's a story about him. I don't know what club he took, but somebody hitting golf balls at ATT Park. I think it was just last year.
It was Dustin Johnson.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And Kane just casually walked up and
bye-bye.
and rinsed it way out there. So
isn't that incredible?
Yes.
Well, he's so talented. He's a wonderful guy too. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And we've got it. It's actually being covered by Comcast Sports Net. It's going to cover it for us, and it'll be rebroadcast on TV for the year to come. So that'll be exciting for everybody.
Oh, perfect! Now that's really a great use of cable resource these days.
Yeah, I think people that can't make it out. I hope everybody that wants to come out will make it out. But if you can't, you'll be able to see it on TV at some point. But we've been working on that for a while to get that captured because that's such a special day. You see some crazy stuff. Last year, I forget who it was, Bochy or somebody took his first tee shot on one about killed a camera guy on the right.
And those always make for the good stories too. So.
Oh man, scares you to death. But anyway, we got to move the camera guys back a little this year, I think.
Well, and I remember, Kuiper barely being able to get the ball airborne. I think his first time that he played in the thing. So, all right, let's talk about some of the celebs playing because the most notable one that struck me, I like the invite to Kid Rock.
How about that one?
Yeah.
Oh man, well I'm from Michigan. So that's not where it started, but I will take full credit for that one. A friend of mine hooked me up with a guy in Michigan who's actually the head pro at a golf course there, and where Kid Rock plays out of. So I got to talk to this guy, and we talked about the possibility of Kid Rock playing, and just as long as he didn't show up in his overalls and a 24-ounce bud, it was good. And he said, no, he's very serious about his game now. In fact, he played Augusta 2 months ago now, and had 3 birdies at Augusta. So he's got some game.
Okay.
He does play quite a bit with Dustin Johnson and Wayne Gretzky, who Wayne's also going to be here this year. So he really is it. He turned 43 about a week and a half ago, and he's committed to play a lot of golf this year, and I guess he really enjoys it, and he's pretty good. So I don't know what this is going to do to the gallery, but it's going to be fun. He's a great addition. He's definitely, I think, our big addition this year.
Well, and that's what my take on it is. As soon as I heard it, because it's just that he will bring a younger audience. I'm hoping,
he sure
and
will.
To propagate these tournaments, even this one with all the tradition that it has, you can't just keep the people that have been there for 20 years, 25 years coming. You got to have some new blood into it, and I like the new blood. I think the new blood in the form of Kid Rock can help sell tickets, which are also representative of new blood. So
what we did last year really started kind of bringing in. The goal is 5 fresh a year, and we're going to rotate some people out. They're going to come back. I mean, for instance, this year we brought back Kurt Russell. Hasn't played in years. He's playing this year. But the new this year, which I think is going to be great, is Joe Don Rooney from Rascal Flatts will be here. Kid Rock, obviously. T-Bone Burnett is a Grammy award-winning producer, fantastic. He's never played. James Blake, the tennis player, has never played. So we're trying to, and that's the goal. You said it, leading up to this. You got to keep it fresh. You want people to look at it and say, "Oh, wow, he's playing or she's playing." We would love to have some females play, but they don't want to go out. I guess men are more easily able to go out and embarrass themselves. So, but we're going to continue to do that and to shake it up and really bring the best product out here for the spectators to see and to really enjoy watching them play golf and taking it's all for charity. So the more people we get, the better off we all are.
Well, and staying on that theme a little bit, I like that Justin Verlander played last year, and he's coming out again this year as well. Is he?
He's hurt. He's hurt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had surgery about 2 weeks ago. Had to pull out, and believe me, he was not happy with that. He said he was. We do follow everybody on Twitter, and he was in Cabo playing, and I thought, wow, it's perfect. He's warming up for the AT&T, and then he had surgery about a week later. So no, he's not, and he'll be back next year. We'll get him back.
Okay. Well, see, and I thought it was good to bring the guy, especially after the face-off with the A's and everything, and the postseason stuff with the A's. But and that was good of him to come out here because he's really coming out into pretty territory that's Giants and A's territory. But
it's so true. And he got in the tee box last year. He made the cut. He's a great golfer. He made the cut. He was standing on the first tee at Pebble on Sunday, and the crowd started chanting, "Let's go Giants!" And he just started laughing. He said, "Oh, go, come on, that's fine, bring it on." And it was really a great moment. So he's a true guy to our tournament. I think that you'll see him again.
I think that's good stuff, and he's been such a phenomenal pitcher over these past few years.
Yeah.
I got another guy, and I don't know. I forwarded information to Monterey Peninsula Foundation last year. My daughter's a sports writer in Southern California, and Mike Trout's agent talked to her about who to contact. He apparently wants to play Pebble and wants to play in the event, and then my later on in the season, my daughter got a hold of me and said, "Hey, Dad, get me the information because Mike Trout tapped me in the locker room and said, 'Hey, who do I have to talk to and what do I do?'" And so, if you didn't get that, if that didn't filter to you, I might have sent it to Ollie, who's now I forgot was retired.
Forward it up. No, we're always looking for interesting people. not Karatek. Help me out. The Cy Young pitcher from L.A. Dodgers.
Oh, Kershaw.
We tried to get Kershaw, but he was unable. He had a lot of these guys when the season's over and wintertime, they go into a cocoon or they go fishing or whatever they do. So we got to get them on the radar really early. I mean, honestly, starting in March is when we start working these things to make sure that they understand that we need to make sure they clear their schedule the week after the Super Bowl.
Well, I will make sure.
We love hearing about fresh faces. Believe me, it's important that the tournament committee looks at everything.
Well, and Trout is such a young and dynamic player. I will make sure that we get the Trout info to you.
Shoot up to me.
So we'll do that. All right. One more time because we're bumping into the clock here. I got to take a commercial break. Let's go tickets. And is there anything for kids under 12 or any of that stuff? So let's run the whole thing down again. ATTPB Golf.
Yeah, ATTPBGolf.com. Go on the website, get the tickets. Kids are free and just come on. I mean, there's so much to do. We've really changed the whole dynamic of the fan experience and just ramping it. The 18th hole is going to be spectacular, wrapping it with the seats, and I think people are going to notice it. It's going to be like finishing in a stadium. So very exciting. I appreciate your support. Appreciate everybody's support.
It's one of my favorite weeks of the year.
Thank you very much. Thanks so much for having me on.
All right. Okay, Steve John, tournament director. I know you're going to have a good tournament, but I certainly will wish you the best. Hope you have a problem-free tournament. Let's call it that.
I appreciate it. Thanks for your support.
All right. Thanks for being on with us today. Hey, more Talkin' Money right after these messages.
Talking money.
And we're back to Talkin' Money. And here's Jeff Tarbell.
No, here isn't Jeff Tarbell. Once again, I am Vince Mastracco, and I thank Jeff Tarbell and John Foderaro for graciously taking the day off and inviting me to come in and sit down. And once again, yes, I was on the air here on Saturday mornings for nearly 19 years hosting a golf show. So maybe you've heard my voice, maybe you haven't. Maybe you don't care about golf at all, but golf is part of the business landscape as well as all recreation is. And as we begin to come out of the recession, we've got there. Now, we're down to just the last couple minutes. I've got a caller on the line, Kevin James Richardson, and so I want to bring him up really fast. Good morning, Kevin. What do you got?
Hey, Vince. How you doing, man? Nice to talk to you again.
I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
I'm having a blast.
Good. Yeah, I just wanted to, make some people aware of this young golfer that's coming up on the PGA Tour. His name is Chris Williams, and he's out of the University of Washington. In 2012, he was a McCormick Trophy winner for the best amateur in the world. And then this last year, he won the prestigious Ben Hogan Award, so he's going to be playing at the Crown Plaza in May at Colonial. But right now, he made the cut down at Torrey Pines. He's 1 under par. And
is he going to be at the AT&T? Is he going to? He's going to play AT&T. He's in. Okay.
Yes, he is.
So Chris Williams, young kid to watch.
Yep, and
okay.
The moniker that he has is 10 Fingers Willie because he has a baseball grip.
He has a bit. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. That's nice to know. We'll watch that. All right, we gotta let you go. We gotta get out of here. I got 30 seconds. There's another break coming up. All right, my thanks to our guest today, comedian Mark Yaffe, laughwithmark.com, and that's MARC on the mark, and pbgolf.com for your tickets. Chris, great to see you.